Hello everyone, welcome back to Trek A Day. Today we have another Star Trek book, this time from the Star Trek Picard series, The Dark Veil. The Alpha Quadrant is mired in crisis. Within the United Federation of Planets, a terrorist strike on the shipyards of Mars has led to the shutdown of all relief efforts for millions of Romulans facing certain doom from an impending supernova. But when the USS Titan is drawn into a catastrophic incident on the Romulan Federation border, Captain William Riker, his family, and his crew find themselves caught between the shocking secrets of an enigmatic alien species and the deadly agenda of a ruthless Tal Shiar operative. Forced into a wary alliance with the Romulan starship commander, Riker and the Titan crew must uncover the truth to stop a devastating attack, but one wrong move could plunge the entire sector into open conflict. I just read this one for the first time, The Dark Veil, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it is a fantastic companion to the Picard series, and in particular, this book, The Last Best Hope by Una McCormack. I think these really work well together in dealing with one of the aspects of the Picard series that I enjoyed. Those first two seasons had a lot of problems. I thoroughly disliked the second season. The first season, I could go on forever about all the issues I have with it, but there were some ideas I did enjoy, even though I don't think they were handled perfectly. The synthetics and the issue of the impending demise of the Romulan Star Empire and dealing with ramifications of that, still within the shadow of the Dominion War. It was so devastating that still being in a situation where a lot of the hearts and minds of many people, especially people in power, have been colored by that experience, and Starfleet is struggling, trying to get back to the idea of openness and exploration being guiding forces rather than looking inward and being protective, and then dealing with this situation, especially after the Mars shipyards, with the supernova that threatens the very existence of the Romulans, and dealing with having to curtail and basically pull back their massive effort to aid their galactic neighbors and all the tension that entails. I think this delved into that territory, but it was more something that affected the course of the story because of the difficulties of the time rather than being the main focus. The main focus is actually more towards one specific species that is very secretive and dealing with those tensions with a Romulan warbird and the Titan both being present at a very momentous event that has been in planning for a long time for this very secretive society as they plan to leave their home near the neutral zone between the Federation and the Romulan Empire, and all the difficulties that ensue from there without getting into too much with spoiler territory, because I think there's a lot to uncover here that is a lot of fun, elements of mystery, elements of strange new life, and discovering the mystery of these people along with how this kind of situation is approached differently in the mindset of the era compared to how this would have played out in, say, TNG times. So it was a fascinating backdrop to an interesting story, and the Romulan characters were very interesting as well, and seeing them at odds and seeing the differences in perspective as well, seeing the Romulan side of like how they view what is going on with the Federation and facing the doom of their people, and seeing how some are being guided a bit more by old principles and honor and wanting to be more trusting and seeing that as something that is necessary for their continued survival, versus other people who are more of the mindset of seeing all outside forces as a threat to the continued existence of the Empire, seeing this secretive society not as just being inward faced and being protective, but being duplicitous, and seeing plots and allegiances where they don't really exist. And it makes for a lot of interesting characters and interesting interactions in a book that also has a lot of great action as well. It certainly has a little bit of everything, and getting into the details of characters on the Titan, of course, Counselor Troy and their son Thaddeus and other characters. This works really well as an interesting way of bringing a lot of stuff from, and characters and things from the Titan novel series into this new future timeline, from the books that had a good 15 years of extending these stories into the future and are amazing, and now we have sort of this new timeline after the Coda series leading into this future depicted in shows like Star Trek Picard rather than the book series. So it's an interesting way of taking a lot of those ideas and characters and kind of putting them in this new timeline and era, and I think it does a good job of that in a story that is well paced and fun. Again, I think it has a little bit of everything. It has a little bit of that exploration, a little bit of the drama, a lot of well written action, and I think just plays well, and I thought it was pretty fantastic, and I would love to see, probably won't happen, who knows, but it'd be interesting to see more books in this vein, since they officially closed out the far superior massive run of books leading into the future. There are some good books in this era as well, and I would love to see more things carrying beyond the end of Star Trek Picard, seeing these characters. Maybe if we can't get a new show, which we should, if that never happens, that legacy idea or whatever, maybe we could get things along that line more in book form and see further adventures of the crew of the Titan, or maybe get in book form the Enterprise G and those adventures with Captain Seven. There still are a lot of fantastic stories that could be told in this time frame, and I think this is one of them.